It's blessed me to welcome on one of the top players in 2022, one of the top risers, and one of the best scorers in the entire country, Emanuel Sharp. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I mentioned one part there. I just said you're one of the best scorers in the country. Every game you play, people seem to get more and more comfortable calling you one of the best players, one of the best scorers in the entire country. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it means a lot. Like getting the recognition I think that I should deserve. It's really it's a boost for my confidence.
We look at the list. You finished number 20 in the country in points per game last year, and some of those guys you can kind of cross off because they don't like to play big level competition. You're amongst one of the top players scoring wise against good talent. How will that translate, and how have you continued to develop confidence wise when you're scoring?
I mean, just playing more, getting more experience. It's only going to make me better. Like I'm not going to get worse. So just being able to continue to play against good competition, it's like iron sharpens iron. It's making me better.
Now you're heading into your junior season. You already have 31.9 points per game last year. What's the next level you can break into?
I mean, I don't really have like a specific goal that I would set, but I don't think it's going to be as high just because of the players that I have around me this year, like Dylan Mitchell and Anthony Davis. Like I think it'll be lower, but like as a team, we'll be better.
Let's get into this move. You started at Blake, being coached by your dad there, and now you guys make the transition. You go out to a bigger school, bigger platform, have a lot better team now, Bishop McLaughlin. Take us to this decision. Why did you want to do this transfer?
I mean, it's a great school, great academics, and the basketball program and the athletics program is just a plus. All the players that are there, it's a better position that I'm in.
You mentioned two names that are guys that are expected to blow up this next year, Dylan and Ant. Discuss those two guys and what they're capable of doing.
They're both great players. Anthony Davis, he's athletic, he can shoot it, and Dylan Mitchell is a point forward. He's athletic, he can dribble, and he's tall. Like it's all you would want in a recruit.
I believe you guys have some big games set up, one of the biggest ones against Montverde. How do you prepare for those type of games?
Just getting the chemistry up like within our team, just playing more since this is our first year together. But as we play more games, we're all going to click better. So I guess that's how we prepare.
Let's get into some of your recruiting. You've got a lot of offers now. Some of the schools on the table right now: Florida, Texas Tech, SMU, Georgia Tech. What's recruiting looking like for you right now?
It's good. Had a lot of schools hitting me up lately. Not any recent offers, just teams that are reaching out to me. No offers yet, but it's good to have them like knowing that I'm on their list.
Out of the schools that have offered you at this point, who do you say is staying in the contact with you most? Who's kind of prioritizing you?
I would say that the both Florida schools, University of Florida and USF, are both contacting me the most right now. But all of them are still reaching out. It just seems like I've been in contact and on the phone with most of the Florida schools more so lately.
That would result in you staying home, staying in Florida. Is that something you'd like? Would it be nice staying back at home with the family?
I mean, it's not something I would throw out the window. It's definitely a plus for me,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be a great opportunity to stay home and go to school. But I still keep my options open.
Absolutely. Let's get into some of these schools a little bit more particular. USF is a school that your dad also attended. Having that history of kind of becoming the next era, what would that be like?
I mean, it would be great. Like ever since I was younger, I always thought about filling in my dad's shoes. Just growing up watching him play, I've always wanted to be exactly like him. And going to his school, that would be like it would be a nice like accolade, I would say, is to go to the same school as my dad. But it would be nice.
You kind of have the inside track record. You know what the campus is like. You kind of have an idea, just the feeling of what it's like attending that university. You've also gone on some visits there. What's the feeling you get from the program?
It's a good feeling. I feel like they really respect me as a player, not just as a player, but as a person too. Like the Zoom call I was in, it was really good. They really explained to me like their intentions with me, and it just feels like a home, because it's closer to home. They explained to me that like what they would like to do as a team if I was on there and all that. So it would be really good.
You look at all these programs, though, when it comes time in a year or so to start really narrowing this down, getting really into this process, what are you looking for in programs? What do you want to see in them for you to really consider one?
I mean, I'd be looking for like the location first, like where is the school, the player development program, like where I would fit in best with the team, like what I play and what my role would be on the team. Those are basically the deciding factors.
You'd mentioned also the role. That's a big thing for a lot of guys. You are a scoring dominant guy. You can also facilitate at the same time. What's the role that you want though for a freshman in college?
Just to become, just so I can come in and make a difference in whatever team that I'm on. Like I don't want to go there and for it to be disappointing and me to be sitting on the bench or whatever. But I would love to like just get like a good opportunity to make the players around me better and just succeed as a player.
And for those that do not know you, we have seen you briefly play last summer in EYBL. You got to go out there in FIBA, which we'll talk about in a minute. This high school season a little bit, but haven't been AAU this past year. For people that haven't got to see you, have a good understanding of what you bring to the table. What are you? Explain your game.
I'm a combo guard that's has some size. I get to the basket. I'm a very good shooter, and I can get my teammates involved around me too.
No doubt. Now, how about Florida? That's a big program, a Power Five school. What do you like about them?
They're a great school. Like I went to their campus. I went to watch the game against Florida State. It's a great program. I love the coaching staff, and the campus is beautiful.
Now, they also have a program where they're great at developing guards. We see constantly big guards going there year in, year out. For 2021, it's going to be Kwasi Reeves. Seeing guys that they're able to get guards and possibly make them pros, is that more appealing to you?
I mean, yeah, like just knowing that if I've seen them do it with other players, like why would that not be me if I go to that school? Like I would like to be one of those players that gets to the next level from college.
How about a coach? Kind of drop your dream coach in terms of, do you like them younger where they can kind of relate to them in that aspect? Do you want them more achieve and older? What's kind of the aspects and kind of the play style you want to coach?
I don't really have a preference. Nobody's ever really asked me that question, but I don't really have a preference. Just a good coach is a good coach.
Absolutely. Now you have a few Texas schools involved with you as well. Texas Tech, SMU. What do you like about them?
They're both great schools. I love the coaches. I talk to them. I haven't really gotten to go out to the campus yet just because of the pandemic. But once I get to go visit all these schools, I'll have more of an understanding of where I'd like to go.
When it all opens up, visits are able to start to going again. What are some schools you're looking to take some visits to?
All of them. I don't really have any in particular, but just like the fact that I'd be able to go to the schools at least would be good enough for me.
Out of all the schools that have been recruiting you recently but have yet to extend the offer, who's showing you the most interest right now?
Florida State's showing me a lot of interest. Georgia's showing me a lot of interest. Tulsa just texted me. Virginia has been texting me recently. Iowa State, just those are just a few of the schools.
You are listed as a guy that's between the top 50, top 70 range. For your opinion, though, where would you rank yourself in 2021?
I definitely think like I'm underrated. Like I think 56 or whatever I'm ranked in ESPN. I feel like if some of the scouts or whoever does the rankings would be able to see me play more, like I feel like if I would have been able to play on the EYBL this year, I would be ranked higher. But it's fine. Like rankings don't really matter to me. It's really where I'll be in the next 3 years. Like rankings don't really matter to me. If you can ball, you can ball.
Amani Bates is one of those guys that you went up against last year. You won 3 times against a guy that's considered a generational talent, the number one player in your class. And he even had a point in time where he went and commented saying you are underrated. You are one of the best players in the class. What does that mean to you? And what's it like going up against a guy like Amani?
I mean, he's like a once in a lifetime player. He's a great player. And just being able to compete against him and hold my own, and like it meant a lot to me and it boosted my confidence. And it really helped me like with my recruitment process and them being able to see that I compete against the other top players in the country. Like it helped my image.
You preparing for a game like that? I said you won 3 games against his team. How do you go into those games knowing that you are a little undersized? He is this kind of phenom talent. How do you prepare for that and know that you can lead your team to victory?
I just try to go into those type of games, like not trying to force anything and let the game come to me. Cause that's usually like what's the best option for me is when I'm not trying to force something or trying to do too much. Like just like go get into the flow of the game and get warm. And that'll help me play better like as the game goes on.
To average 31 points a game is not an easy feat. How do you start getting the feeling? When do you know you're able to take off and start doing your thing?
I mean, it's just I don't know. It's a weird feeling, just like when you're in the game and the heat of the moment. Like you'll tell when your shots are failing, when your shots are falling. Like it's hard to explain.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into your FIBA tournament. Last year, you had the opportunity, being born in Israel, to go out there and play, and you dominated. You put up 25 points a game, led all FIBA in U16. What was that experience like?
It was a great experience, like going over back to Israel to play for my home country and being able to compete against the other countries with my teammates. It was a great experience, like to be able to play against different competition than here in the U.S.
Now, for those that don't know, your dad was a professional player, played 16 years overseas. That's part of the reason why you were born out there. What
Yeah.
was it like kind of growing up out there?
I mean, it's great because both my parents were actually professional players. My mom was a professional player in the European Women's League too. That's how they met. But just growing up around my dad and going to his games and stuff, it really helped me grow into that kind of basketball culture. Like that's all I was. That's all I was in when I was younger.
Your dad, as I said, played USF, went 16 years overseas, also was able to become a coach with David Blatt, who we know has won a championship with the Cavs. Having just that basketball kind of run your blood and get that experience, how'd that help you now coming today?
I mean, it just helps me with my experience and being like in those moments where you have to be like the ones with experience. Like I know that I've been playing basketball and I know what I've known for a long time and it just helps me in the long run.
You mentioned your mom as well. What's your guys' relationship like? How she kind of helped you in your basketball career?
She's my number one supporter. You won't find anybody else that supports me like she supports me. And she's a great player as well. She's actually in the in the Canadian Basketball Hall of Fame. She was a great player when she played and she's a great supporter.
Both your parents now have been able to raise three sons that play basketball. One is a professional player. You and your other brother also playing in high school. Having that brother relationship where you guys all know, kind of experience the same thing in terms of on the court. How has that helped you, and what's it been like building that bond with them?
I mean, it was great since we all grew up around each other. We all grew up around the basketball culture. And my oldest brother had moved here in 2013 with us, and we were all, building that bond like around basketball. And my brother is going off to college to play, and now he's overseas. And it just growing up around each other, all like playing basketball, like it helped us compete against each other.
When you guys do get together, you guys play one-on-one games, king of the court. How do those family games go?
I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but when we used to, my oldest brother DJ, he always used to beat up on us just because he was the oldest, more experienced. Like he was more of a professional than we were.
So how do you guys break that down? Your mom and dad can both play some still too. Do you guys go 2-on-2, 3-on-2? How do the games go down?
I've never actually played with my parents. Like I played
Mhm.
with my dad a couple times when they were younger, but they both stopped trying that because they realized that we were too good for them. But it's been a while since I played an actual game with my family.
Gotcha. Now, you see their experience. We talk about how your dad and mom have impacted you. Now, your brother's also dealt with the professional landscape. Your brother's going to deal with college someday soon, too. How are they helped you in terms of recruiting process and kind of getting an idea of what it's going to be like at the next level?
Just working out with me every day, like they know what it takes to be at the next level, and them just like spitting that knowledge to me about what it takes to be that type of athlete. Like it's helped me like build my work ethic over the years.
Now, you have 1,697 points currently because you also played basketball in the eighth grade year for high school. Are you kind of aiming for a 2,500 kind of run, 3,000? What's kind of the goal point for you?
I don't really have a goal in points. Like I've never like actually counted how many points I had. Like I didn't know until you just told me. But I just go out there and play. Like I don't really worry about how many points I have or how many. I'm just trying to win.
Because of COVID, the FIBA stuff didn't go down. A lot of stuff wasn't the same. When that does get
Mhm.
going again, are you going to want to go out there and play with them again in Israel? Do you want to, how are you going to kind of balance that out?
For sure. Like I was gonna go this year again, but obviously I couldn't. But just with the AAU and FIBA, like I would have loved to do both of that, and I'll definitely be doing it again next year.
I can imagine the ultimate goal is to play international for the Olympics someday for them. To get that honor someday, what would that mean to you?
It would mean a lot just knowing like I'm playing behind the country that I grew up in. Like it would mean a lot to me, like for the fans, like my dad's fans, like they would all be supporting me. It would feel great.
The next Olympics probably won't work out for you for age reasons and all that, but the following one, I think that's going to be in 4 more years. Is that something that you goal to play for? Is that something that could be a realistic option for you to play for the Olympics?
I mean, we haven't really talked about that yet, but it would definitely be something I would be looking forward to.
Absolutely, man. Well, you have 2 more seasons left of high school basketball, both as a team and personally. What's all the goals you want to achieve before you graduate?
As a team, I definitely want to win like a couple state championships, and make it far into the playoffs. I know we have the team to do it this year and next year. We don't have any seniors on our team this year. So coming back next year will be even better. And I don't really have any personal goals right now, but over the years, I'll figure something out.
I know you're also dealing with an injury. Take us through how that happened, how you're rehabbing.
It was in a game a couple weeks ago. I just kind of lunged to deflect the ball, and he kind of ran into my hand. It was a freak accident, and it broke a bone in my hand, and I'll be out for about like until like mid-December. But it's not too bad. It kind of looks worse than it is because they had to put a couple wires in my hand, but it feels great. Like I feel fine. Like I'm very mobile with it. It's fine. But they just have me doing a couple of hand exercises, and I'll be good to go in like a month.
You have had the ability and the blessing to be able to play some AAU games, get back on the court some. What if like just to get back on the court?
Well, it would feel great. Like just I know when I came back a couple weeks ago, it felt great, and it kind of ended because I got hurt. But I know coming back again after the injury is going to feel even better.
Your team is E1, T1. Why'd you choose them?
Just because I know they have a history of the players that they have. They brought in a bunch of players: Kevin Knox, Ben Simmons, Antonio Blakeney. Like there's countless. They have the most NBA prospects that are in the game that are in the NBA right now. Like they've produced high level athletes, and it would be like it's a great program. And obviously, we got to like the playoffs and the quarterfinals and Peach Jam. And it's the great team. It's a great program with great coaches, and it was a great move for me. It helped my recruitment 100%.
If COVID never occurred, you guys had a full AU season. How far would you guys have gone and kind of break down your team a little bit?
I definitely think we definitely would have won Peach Jam this year. Like just with the addition of a few players like Ben Middlebrooks and like just us getting better as a team, like I think we could have gone all the way this year.
Watching some of your game film highlights, you play with a lot of energy at the same time. You do some trash talking every once in a while. Discuss the other side of the game. What's it like and why do you have so much energy when you play?
I mean, you got to have that kind of energy if you're going to compete at that high of a level, like in the EYBL with all top players. You got to come at 100% every game, or else like you're going to get shown up. And I just feel like I just play with a lot of energy because I want to prove myself like that I can compete among that type of talent.
Head on head, one on one. Who's the one guy you want to go up against in the country?
I definitely want to go up against Imani again. That's pretty much like he's the best player I've ever played against. So being able to like run it back and play again, that would be good.
I know you also value academics at the same time. 4.0 GPA. Who instilled the priority of academics in you?
Definitely my parents. Like they always tell me academics is first. Like without academics, I wouldn't be going anywhere in basketball. So that's always been number one in my life. My parents have put that in my head since I was younger.
Is there another career path that you're looking into or something that you would like after basketball?
Not at the moment, but that's definitely something I should start thinking of, like past basketball. That's what my parents always tell me. But right now, I'm kind of just focused on basketball.
Absolutely. And a few more things before I let you go. One is talking about Florida basketball. You guys are in a state that's regarded as one of the best basketball states in the country. What's it like playing basketball out there?
I mean, it's great in Florida. I know it's got the best competition here. Like last year in Peach Jam, it was us and the Knight Riders that were the two top teams in Peach Jam, and we're both Florida teams. And that alone will tell you that we have some of the top prospects in the country.
If you could put together a roster of the top Florida players in 2022, who makes that roster?
Oh, definitely. I would say me, Dylan Mitchell, Ben Middlebrooks. I would say like I think that my each one teach one team has the best players in Florida. Like me, Dylan Mitchell, Lewis Jones, Bryce Sensabaugh, AJ Brown, Ben Middlebrooks. Me, I think we are all the best players in Florida.
Absolutely, man. I always like wrapping up discussing building a legacy for yourself, which is something I think all guys want to do. So when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
I want to be remembered as a hardworking player that made a difference in the game on and off the court, just like LeBron is doing now. Like I would like to do something like what he's doing right now someday. Like that would be the ultimate goal.
Is there a certain avenue of life that you really want to pursue? Like I know LeBron is obviously going back to Akron and helping rebuild schools, that kind of stuff. Is there a certain place in life that you really want to invest your time and money into?
Not that I have in mind. I would like to go back to Israel someday, but it's not something I've really thought into in depth lately. But I would definitely love to go back to Israel.
Absolutely, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. Good luck this upcoming season, man. I can't wait to see what God got next for you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
Thank you.